Okay, for those who just came in, we are on page 60, and then I'll choose people to read. Just put this on notice step. What is this? Okay, maybe for the sake of time, I'm going to begin. Okay. Let's push this like this. Okay, so I think last week, let me just try and track where we stopped. Okay, so I'm just gonna read through this and then we begin. We are on page 60. So what we've seen is, let me see, we have Claudius and Gertrude who hire Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. These are two of Hamlet's childhood friends to spend time with Hamlet, and I'm guessing this was Claudius' idea. Obviously, then Gertrude plays along because this would be good for Hamlet, and as we know that she is somebody who's concerned about the well-being of Hamlet and trying to make sure that Hamlet heals. Okay, so we know that obviously she's oblivious of the other things. She, just like any other characters, she doesn't really know who Claudius is, as we know that Claudius is the one who murdered her husband, or Hamlet's father. Okay, so after the attendants take the friends to visit Hamlet, Polonius followed closely by ambassadors. Then you have Voltimand and Cornelius who joined the royal pair. The ambassadors who have returned from speaking with King of nowhere but Fortinbras are happy, so they bring about good news. I think you remember when Polonius reports that the ambassadors are back, and then Claudius says something. He says, "You are indeed a father of good news," something like that. And then just do this. Fortinbras vowed obedience to his uncle and has turned his attention to Poland, where he originally told his uncle he was going, and then Voltimand knows that Fortinbras has asked permission for him and his men to pass through Denmark to en route to Poland. Now, as the ambassadors exit, Polonius tells Claudius and Gertrude he thinks Hamlet's love for Ophelia is driving him mad. I think we spent time on that, talking about that last time. Polonius then reads them a letter. I think we find this on page 59. He reads them a letter sent from Hamlet to Ophelia in which he proclaims his love for her. Together, Polonius, Claudius, and Gertrude decide to lay a trap, but we know that this is Polonius's idea, right? He asks Claudius, or he tells Claudius that he can try and find more information to prove his case, to say that Hamlet is mad, is mad because of his love for Ophelia. And then in that scene, he also tells them that this is what he has done. He has ordered Ophelia to actually stay indoors, and as a reason, that's why Hamlet is mad. So I think I'm going to stop here, and then we are going to start reading, because most of the things that you see here are the things that we are going to see today. So let's go to page 60. If you look at 49, what did Polonius say? Who can tell me? According to what Polonius says there, he says something about Hamlet taking his walk. There is something that he tells us. He says, let me see. If you look at 49 there, line 160, can you see it? Okay, great. It says, this is what Claudius says. Claudius says, how may we try it further? And then Polonius says, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby. So I just found it very peculiar that Polonius knows the exact time. He knows that Hamlet walks 4 hours. So again, you see, this is somebody who really pays attention to other people's business. If you see, that's basically very specific. So the plan now is to test the hypothesis that Hamlet could be, or as Polonius is claimed, that he might be mad because of Ophelia. So now Claudius wants to try it further to be sure. Obviously, once he finds out that that's the case, I'm sure maybe he might actually relax a bit, because this is somebody who's guilty, because he knows what he did. So that could be the reason why he's so interested in making sure that he find the root cause. Okay, can I find Gertrude? Or let me just go through the list here. I'm just going to allocate just to save time. Banele. There's Banele. Banele, confirm if you can hear me and if you can take Gertrude's place.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great. And then Keegan, I'll give you Polonius again. I think you did an excellent job last time. And then I'll give Claudius to, let me see, there's Pearl. I'm not sure if it's you, but yeah, I think it's you. I'll give you Claudius today. Okay.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
So I don't have my reader with me because I'm not at home.
Oh, okay. So can I find somebody who can read for us? There is, I can't remember who exactly was Bongani. I know you're using maybe your father's phone or something, or email. Can you tell us who you are? Okay. Boy Habiso, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, can you take, let me see. Okay, I think that's all we have for now, ne? Okay, I think I might use you later. Okay, can we start on page 59 where it says Gertrude? So he does indeed. So we'll take it from there. Abongwe? So sorry, can I just sort something out here? Abongwe boy, can you close the door, please? Thank you. Okay, we can start.
So,
we are on page 59 at the bottom there. Gertrude.
so he does indeed.
Polonius.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be ready to an eye behind an arras then, mark the encounter, if he love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon. Let me be no assistant for estates, but keep a farm and quarters.
Okay, maybe can we deal with that? This is what Polonius says. At such a time, I'll lose my daughter to him. Okay, now I want us to quickly, I want us to look at how is Ophelia treated here. Just if you look at that line on its own, at such a time, I'll lose my daughter to him. How is Ophelia treated here? Or can we make a comment in that? But in that line, how is she treated here by Polonius? Okay, let me just ask anybody. I know people don't volunteer. Let me see. Boy Habiso, can you respond to that? This is what Polonius says. They want to test whether is Hamlet interested in Ophelia, and is Ophelia the root cause of Hamlet's madness. Now, this is what Polonius says. At such a time, I will lose my daughter to him. The question here is, how is Ophelia treated here?
Sir, I don't know, but I would say that Ophelia is being used as a pawn in this instance.
That's exactly what I thought as well. Okay, this is basically more like Polonius's game, right? But to say that I will lose my daughter to him, again, this shows that Polonius is in control, and also that Ophelia is more like an object that is used by Polonius and the others. I think that is again very important. Again, you look at the man who actually says that, and this is how far he's willing to go to prove his relevance, and maybe to prove that he is useful in this job of his. So that's basically what we see here, and thank you for that. Okay, and then so this is the plan that is going to let Ophelia out. Again, is Ophelia aware that this is what they are testing? What do you think? Zinkle, what do you think? Do you think Ophelia is aware or not? Zinkle, I know you can hear me. At least if you are not going to answer, just let me know, then I can ask someone else.
I don't know.
Oh, so you do hear me. Okay, Keegan, for the interest of time, can I just take you?
Sir, I do not think that she is fully aware of Polonius's intentions, but even if she was aware, it's not like there's much she can do about it anyway.
Okay, thank you. Again, I think I think you covered both sides. Even if she is aware, all she has to do is obey, right? Because I think that's how she's been portrayed here throughout. She's somebody who just follows orders. So what did Polonius says to her, for example, she says, stay away from Hamlet, don't respond, and she does exactly that. So even now, even if she is aware, she will actually going to do it. And I would like to think that she is aware exactly what is actually happening here. So in a way, would you say, if let's say, and we know that she is going to actually take part in this, do you blame her? Would you blame her in a way? Would you say, I think Keegan has already taken care of it. If you say there is really nothing she can do. So maybe let's say if you were to deal with the theme of appearance versus reality, do you think it's actually, would it be convenient to include Ophelia in this case, where she goes out and interacts with Hamlet, knowing very well that this is just an act, this is just to prove a point? I think I don't know, but I would actually include her in that regard. Maybe I might not actually deliberate much on that, but she could be one of the people you want to include there to actually say, but in this conversation, this is not a genuine conversation, because the reason this conversation takes place is to actually prove a point. So in that case, then they are of the impression also that Hamlet doesn't know what they are doing. Okay, so let's move on. So again, if you look at that portion, it says if he love her or not. So that's the whole thing, is to prove. Is to prove Polonius is right. Is obsessed also because he wants to be right. Okay. All right, and also, and be not from his reason fallen thereon. Let me be no assistant for a state. Okay, so we're gonna proceed. I think Keegan, you kept. So this is what Polonius proposes, right? He says he's going to hide behind the curtain. What can you say about this whole encounter? Him proposing that, and also him hiding there. What do you think about that? Let me see. Pearl, what do you think about that? Okay, let me just take Banele. There's no response. Banele, what do you think about that? This whole setup. Polonius says, I'll let my daughter out and I will hide here. Can you comment on that?
Can you please repeat the question for me?
What do you think about that? The fact that this is what he proposes, and also he says he will hide. And this is his daughter we're talking about.
So I may say, so I may say that Polonius is not a godfather because, like, he is selling his daughter out.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What matters is you did have a comment. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's proceed then. Let's look at page 60 now. Claudius, can you read? Okay, so I just got kicked out. Claudius, can you read? We will try it there. Hello, Claudius, can you read? Do we have Claudius?
No, sir.
I did. There was Claudius. Did somebody leave? Okay, let me take Zintle. Can I take you?
Sir?
Can you read Claudius? Can you be Claudius?
Yes, sir. Sir, can you please,
Well,
I'm lost here.
We're on page 60.
From the top, sir.
Yes, we will try it. That's what it says there.
Okay. Away I do research you both away.
No, I don't think you're on the right page. We're on page 60.
Yes, page 60, sir.
Okay, can you read again? Because I have something different here.
You said I'm Polonius, sir.
No.
Um,
Don't you have Polonius already?
I have Polonius, sir.
Oh, okay. Can I have Claudius? Who is Claudius? Okay, there was never Claudius, you mean to tell me? Okay, we will try it. Enter Hamlet reading a book. Gertrude?
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes to reading.
Okay, Polonius?
Away I do beseech you both away. I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave.
Okay, Claudius and Gertrude go off, and then Polonius proceed.
Do you know me, my lord?
Okay, Keegan, you can take Hamlet if you're here, if you're still here.
Well, God have mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent, excellent. Well, you're a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord.
Aye, sir, to be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion, have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk its son. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
Okay, can we, thank you for that. Can we just quickly digest that? What do you make of these questions? These questions are, from which place do they come from? Why is Polonius asking these questions, if I may ask? Okay, it's just silence. Okay, let's just look at these questions. How does my good Lord Hamlet, how are you doing? And then Hamlet says, God, a mercy. Do you know me, my Lord? What do you make of these questions? What is the purpose of these questions?
To test if Hamlet is really mad.
Thank you. Yes, that's why that's the whole purpose of these questions, is to psychoanalyze Hamlet, whether is he truly mad. Obviously, he would know Polonius, right? He would know Polonius is, because Polonius has been with them for years and he's an advisor to King Claudius. So he would. These are questions he can answer if he was indeed sane. Okay, but what can you say about how Hamlet responds? For an example, this is what Hamlet says: "Excellent, excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger." And then if you look at 175 there, on page 60, is to call the self-important pompous Polonius a seller of fish is a clever ploy, but by Hamlet, his interrogator is briefly deflated and on the defensive. So what do you make of this response? Does it make sense to actually assume or to say Polonius is a fishmonger or is a seller of fish? I just need a yes or a no. Does it make sense?
Doesn't make sense.
Okay, does it prove the notion that Hamlet is mad or insane?
Yes.
In a way, yes. Okay, because we know that Polonius is not a seller of fish. What is he? Okay, anyone else? What is he? Okay, Yeah, ne?
It's tough.
What is Polonius's position here? Can somebody respond?
He is Claudius's advisor.
Yes, that's the answer there. Okay. So in a way, so you see that this answer is off. Okay, and then Polonius responds, he says, "Not I, my lord." Hamlet says, "Then I would you were so honest a man." Okay, what does that mean? Is
Can you please repeat?
I just read there. This is Hamlet's response. He says, "No, I'm not a fishmonger." Then he says, "Then I would you were so honest a man." So my question is, what do you make of that? Is Polonius an honest man in a way?
No.
So what is Hamlet suggesting here?
Is a lie.
Does Hamlet trust Polonius?
He doesn't trust Polonius.
Okay,
He
can
would sell his own daughter.
but does does Hamlet is Hamlet aware of that?
No.
Okay, but in a way, I would say that Hamlet here is portrayed as somebody who's all-knowing, especially when it comes to Polonius's character. And you can tell from here that he doesn't trust Polonius and they don't have a good relationship. Okay. So, and then he says, "I said, to be honest, as this word goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000. What is Hamlet's perception towards people or people of Denmark in general? Can somebody respond? Keegan, can you respond to that based on this line? A said, to be honest, as this word goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
So Hamlet is basically implying that there is not a lot of truly honest people that he knows.
Yes, I agree. Thank you for that. Okay, so again, that is basically Hamlet's stance as far as honesty and the people he deals with are concerned. You know about Claudius, right? You know about Gertrude. He has things about Claudius. He has also things about Gertrude because their actions as well are questionable. And also we see here that he doesn't really trust Polonius. But if you look at, you see here that this is one of the ways, because this is more like questions are interrogative. So by giving these answers, again, it makes Polonius to question himself whether is this man really mad or not. Okay, and then can we then proceed now? Did we get to where he says, "Have you a daughter?"
Okay, I'm carrying on now. How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter, yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, and truly in my youth. I suffered much extremity for love, very near. This, I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Okay, can we pause there? Somehow, in a way, you would say Polonius is projecting. If you look at Hamlet ask, "Do you have a daughter?" And then now, this is what he says aside. He still harping on my daughter, yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. So now he's trying to draw connections here. If he really thought I was a fishmonger, but he knows that I have a daughter. And then he says, "It's far gone. And truly in my youth, I suffered much extremity for love." Okay, what do you make of this? How is this the notion that Hamlet is mad because of Ophelia a projection of Polonius's past experiences? Can somebody respond to that? The proposition by Polonius to say that Hamlet is mad, not could be, but is mad because of Ophelia, because he loves Ophelia and he has kept Ophelia away from him. My question is, how is that a projection of Polonius's past experiences as far as love is concerned, based on the line that says, "And truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this." Okay, can somebody, anyone, respond to that? How is their proposition to say Hamlet is mad because of Ophelia's love a projection of Polonius's own experiences? What evidence is there? Okay, I'm just gonna try Zintle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try Banele. Okay, no answer. Bongani. I don't know who's Bongani, but Kambe, who uses Bongani? I can't tell.
He tells us that in his youth he also suffered much extremely near to this, and this being what
okay,
Shona said.
that's Shona, yes. Okay, Shona, that's the evidence you're giving us, ne? Shona, can you repeat that what you said, please? Okay, I'm gonna pass. Let me try Boyhabiso. Can you try that? Okay, Boyhabiso, do you understand the question first?
Can you please repeat the question for me?
The question is, Polonius proposes that Hamlet is mad because of Ophelia's love. We know that he has kept Ophelia away from Hamlet. My question is, how is this thought a projection of or a reflection of Polonius's past experiences when it comes to love?
Well, so I don't quite get it, but I assume that it was difficult for him as well, with his wife.
Okay.
Finally ending up with her. He faced challenges along the path. Could have been that the parents didn't want the love of his life to be with him, or etc.
Okay, it's dangerous to assume, ne? Okay, we just I want us to learn to use the text. Questions don't just come from anywhere, but they come from the text. Okay, I ask you this because it's something that I've just read. It's there. So Kiken, can you just help us here? This is based on line 190. I wanted to incorporate that line. I think really the answer is just there.
Sir, he has already stated that in his youth he suffered much extremity for love, very near this.
Mm.
And this implies that when he was younger, he might have shared whatever Hamlet is faking at the moment, which is a bit concerning, but he might have been possessive or obsessive in his youth, something like that. But he indirectly said that he was also insane when he was young.
Okay, thank you, Kiken. Well articulated. The answer is on page 190. So really, I want us to be able to pay attention. You look at the question, you look at the text that you are given. these questions, they emanate from the text itself. So you really don't have to now crack your craniums trying to maybe come up with your, because all your answers must have evidence, must be based on the text. For an example, like I say, this is what he says, like Keegan has put it. He says, and truly in my youth. So this is what he says. And truly in my youth, I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. So now you see how this or his past experiences now. Okay, I think Keegan says he admits that he was mad. That's why he says Polonius is mad. But here he admits that this is something that he experienced before. So that is why he's so sure about Hamlet, which could be wrong. Just because you went through certain things, and it doesn't really mean that everyone is going to go through the same, or if they act a certain way, it means then they are actually going through what you went through. So basically that's more like projection. That's what we call projecting in psychology is, because now you're trying to relate what you are to other people. Sometimes you find that that's not the case. Like here, we know it's not the case, and we've proved that it's not the case. Okay, now again, you see this interrogation continues. If you look at on page 61, he asks Hamlet, "What do you read, my lord?" Not because he doesn't know or he can't see what Hamlet is reading, but again, it is to test. Remember that these conversations, Gertrude and Claudius are actually hearing this conversation, right? And as they are listening, they are also making their own conclusion. Is Polonius right when he proposes that Hamlet is mad because of Ophelia or not? So these questions, and they go on. What do you read, my lord? Okay, Hamlet, proceed.
Words, words, words.
Polonius?
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter you read, my lord.
Slandered, sir, for the satirical slave says here that old men have grey beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber or plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potentially believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down, for you yourself, sir, should be old as I am, if, like a crab, you could go backward.
Will this be madness? Yet there is method in. Did I say it right, sir?
Yes, in it, yes.
No, in it. Yeah. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Okay, again, you look at the nature of this question. You look at the response. Hamlet is also throwing some jabs at. What is he reading about there? What did Hamlet say? What is he reading about? Okay, he's reading about slanders. What do you make of that word choice anyway? Okay, anyone?
Sir, can I try?
Okay, please.
Maybe he means the fishmonger. Is the slender.
Are you saying you're still continuing with the notion of the fishmonger and honesty and dishonesty?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, but if you look at what he says next, he says, for the satirical slave says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes are paging with thick amber or plum tree gum, and that they have plentiful lack of wheat, together with most weak hams, all which say, though I most powerfully and potentially believe, yet I thought it's not honesty to have it thus set down. For you yourself should be as old as I am. What do you make of that? How old is Hamlet? Okay, do we know how old is Hamlet at this point? Okay, Keegan, thank you.
So I do not believe we are specifically told how old he is, but we do know that he is a university student. So he is still like young adult years, somewhere around there, around 20 something years old, maybe younger.
Okay, thank you. So for Hamlet to say, for you yourself, sir, should be old as I am, if like a crab, you could work backward. And then you look at the response there, Polonius, this is what he says to himself, though this be madness, yet there is method in it. And then again, he says, there is some sense in what you say. And then again, he tests him further by asking a question, will you walk out of the air, my lord? Okay, Hamlet.
Into my grave.
Polonius?
Indeed, that is out. Sir, what's this word?
Is it out of the air? Indeed, that is out of the air.
Oh, out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. A happiness that often madness hits on. Which reason and sanity would not be prosper. Sir, help.
Where are you reading? Prosperously be delivered.
Yeah, prosperously be delivered of. I'll leave him and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter, my lord. I'll take my leave of you.
Okay, what does he make of the Hamlet's answer? He says how pregnant sometimes his replies are. What do you make of that? What does this suggest? To say that the answers are pregnant. So even though Hamlet is he thinks Hamlet is crazy, but some of the things that he says, they say a lot. So I think hence that's why he says this. He says a happiness that not so prosperous be delivered of. And then he says, I will leave him and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My lord, I will take my leave. So he tries to, we see here, if you look at this interaction, even though it's brief, he tries to interrogate Hamlet in order to prove that he's mad, but really there's not much. So I think the next thing now, he decides to actually let his daughter out, as he says. Now, we've seen Hamlet's interaction with Polonius, right? And I want us to be able to say something about this interaction. What do we learn from this interaction about Hamlet and Polonius? And then the next thing to do is again to observe interaction between Hamlet and his childhood friends, as well as also and Ophelia. So we are just going to be looking out for that. How does Hamlet present himself with these people? Like, for an example, if the question say, comment on how Hamlet present himself to Polonius based on this interaction, what would you say? Just one point, and then we move on. Okay, let me see. Who can I pick? Pale, can you try now? You've been listening to this conversation between Polonius and Hamlet. What can you say about it? Or how does Hamlet present himself to Polonius? Or in that regard, what can you say? Okay, your mic could be off. It seems like you're trying to say something, but we can't hear you. Okay, so let me see. Can I ask? Let me try Shona. Shona, can you try?
Say, I think that Hamlet continues to, he pretends to be mad, but I think he knows that Polonius is trying to get information from him or something.
I think you are right. Yes. Here, that's how Hamlet portrays himself. You look at this interaction between him. It seems like he knows that Polonius has something to do with his daughter not responding to Hamlet. He knows. So maybe during this time, this is predictable, ne? You could tell because you look at how obedient Ophelia is. She's very obedient to her father. And Hamlet knows that Polonius has something to do about it. And in fact, it makes him very angry. If you look at, on page 60, look at the words and images there. When Hamlet posed the question, have you a daughter? You see, that's line 183. Says, again, Hamlet ruffles Polonius's complacency, this time with an unexpected question. Hamlet's anger against Polonius is clear. He has kept Ophelia from him. Asking about his daughter just after talking about kissing and breeding is meant to be insulting, as what he says next. So again, like you remember the proposition I made earlier, I said here, if you look at this interaction, Hamlet asserts himself as somebody who's all-knowing. As we see here, he seems to have figured out who Polonius is and his character, and he knows. Also, yeah, you could tell that it looks like he knows that this conversation and these questions are basically not genuine, and he's just trying to find information. Hence, he responds the way that he does. Okay, thank you, Shona, for that. Okay, okay, let's proceed. Let me see, where did we stop? He asked, can you walk in the air? And then the answer there was just off balance. Okay, now this is Hamlet's declaration. This is what he says. It does sound like a declaration if you look at it. Hamlet, can you read where he says you cannot? You see that?
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all, except my life. My life, my life.
Okay, thank you. Can we digest that one? What is Hamlet saying here? You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part without, except my life, my life, my life. Okay, what is Hamlet saying here? What cannot be done? Okay, Hamlet seems to be saying here, you cannot say, take from me anything that I will part more willingly, part without. He seems to be saying that, I'm thinking in terms of the fact that this is what Polonius has done. Polonius has separated, right, Ophelia from Hamlet. And that is exactly what is happening here. And then I find it very strange for Hamlet to be saying this. So he seems to be saying that you cannot take anything from me unless I am actually willing to let that go. So, and then again you look at this, and then you pair it with how he is going to treat Ophelia later. You look at his interaction with Ophelia, and I think this would actually make more sense. And this also shows that, again, he knows that Polonius is in control. He is the one who is actually keeping Ophelia from here. Okay, Polonius.
Here you are, my lord.
Hamlet.
These tedious old fools.
Okay, what is Hamlet's perception towards Polonius? What does he call him? Not very clever, ne? Yeah, that's what he says here. Again, you see, Hamlet is not very impressed with. Hamlet is not very impressed with with Polonius, and he says he's a fool. But then this is again in plural form, meaning that and others, he knows what who is in that list, but it's not just Polonius only. He has other people in mind. Okay, now this portion now deals with his interaction with his two friends. Again, I said he asserts himself as somebody who's all-knowing, who knows what everyone is doing. He can read them. He knows their true intentions, even though they try to present themselves in a certain way. But he seems to have figured them out. Again, now let's observe this interaction between Hamlet and his childhood friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. We know that they've been brought here in order to find out, or anything, find information from Hamlet, why he's, and who's obsessed here? It's Claudius. He wants to know. Again, they have to report back. And then, again, theme of appearance versus reality. These are friends, right? But they sort of play along here just to get information. In a way, they've been hired to be here and to draw him to pleasures that they may glean anything. And these are Claudius's words. Okay, now I'm going to switch my characters. I'll still keep Hamlet. I need Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Do I have any volunteers? Okay, Lindogutle, thank you. And then, is your hand up? Do you want to read or you have a question?
I want to read.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, you are Rosencrantz. And then, can I have Guildenstern? Any hand, please?
Sir.
Who is that?
My name is sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on. Polonius, enter Guildenstern and Rosencrantz. Okay, proceed.
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is.
God save you, sir.
sir.
Okay, how ironic is that? Okay, think about the question, just move on. To Polonius.
Mine honored lord.
Polonius leaves. To Hamlet.
My
Rosen.
most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern, and, oh, Rosencrantz? Good lads, how do ye both?
Okay, proceed. Rosencrantz.
As the indifferent children of the earth,
Happy in that we are not over happy. On fortune's caps, we are not the very bottom.
Nor the soles of her shoe?
neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favor.
Okay, Guildenstern.
Faith her private we.
In the secret parts of fortune, oh, most true, she is a strumpet. What's the news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near, but your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Okay, maybe let's just digest that. He finally gets, he asks, basically, what brings you here? What's the news? Why here? There are no news, right, my lord? But that the world has grown honest. Then this is what Hamlet says. He says, then is doomsday near, but your news is not true. Again, you are not telling me the truth. So let me ask again, what have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither? Okay, what is Hamlet's view of Denmark based on that line I've just read? Anyone? Okay, let me see. So can you respond to that? How does Hamlet's just underline that? What have you? Do you see that? That's line 240. It says, let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither? Underline that. And then that's where the question emanates from. Okay, you see that in this line, he talks about doomsday, right? The end of the world is near. That's what he says. But how does Hamlet see Denmark based on that line? Okay, anyone?
As a prison, sir.
Yes, he sees it as a prison. And maybe if I were to take it further, how is this attitude reflected, especially in the earlier scenes? Okay, you remember that soliloquy, right? How he feels like melting and things like that. And we know that Claudius is a gangster, right? Claudius is a gangster. He is a gangster, and he's the one who's actually running this show at this moment. and we know what he has done and all the things. So I think this is just a portrayal of him. I think maybe it comes from there, or this could also be how Hamlet is feeling about this place, considering all the things that happened and how his father is murdered and how things just continued. Okay, Guildenstern seems to be questioning that. Okay, Keegan, I think you have a comment.
Sir, also in that whole soliloquy, he does end off with saying that he must hold his tongue as well, meaning he can't actually speak out about any of these things. So he does probably feel trapped. That's why he calls Denmark a prison.
Thank you for that. Yes. Okay, but how is the notion of Denmark being a prison different? How is this notion, or maybe let me just change, how is this a different experience for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern at this moment? Just take into consideration how they came here and what they are doing and where they are living and all that. How will this be a different experience for them? Let me see. No hands up. Okay, one hand is up. Pearl can respond.
So may I please try?
Yes, you can try.
So could it be that they were sent by Claudius to spy on Hamlet?
Okay, but I still need you to draw a contrast there between Denmark being a prison. This is how Hamlet experiences Denmark as a prison. But how will this be a different experience for these two guys as they are here at this point in time? I want you to think about where they are living and all that in your line of responding. Do you want to pursue this further, or I can ask someone else? Okay.
Sir, may I please ask?
Okay, I'm asking and you want to ask. Okay, ask.
Sorry,
Ask.
sir, but like, could it be because they're not from like the royal family?
Okay, so what's your conclusion there? I think you are in the right path. What's your conclusion thereafter? So this would mean what?
This will mean that they are not in prison just as Hamlet.
Okay. Okay, let me give Banel a chance, then I'll go to Keegan. And then I'll try. People don't respond when I ask them, yeah. Then I'll try Shauna.
So for them,
Oh, wait. Banel, then Shauna, and then Keegan.
so for them to feel this way, it's because they are not from the royal families, and like they don't see what Hamlet is going through. They just seeing a friend who's just happy and not acknowledging what's happening.
Okay, in your answer, you say for them to feel this way, but then you don't explain which way are they feeling like. Can you consolidate that then?
Because like Sir Rosencrantz says, in this line he says, "No, none, my lord, but the world's grown honest." So like Sir, the way they feel, it's not like they don't know what's going on with Hamlet, and like they thought like everything is alright. Because like even Hamlet says in the secret part of a fortune, which there's things that he won't say, but the secret of
Okay, yeah, there's a lot said, ne? Okay, yeah, thank you, thank you, Barnett. Can I take Keegan? Keegan, how is being in Denmark at this point a different experience for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? Whereas Hamlet experiences it as a prison, but why would this be a very odd and strange thing to say for them?
Because they chose to come here, or they were sent here, but they did choose to come here to Denmark to see Hamlet. But Hamlet himself cannot really leave Denmark, as again he is a part of the whole royal family. His duties and his responsibilities lie in Denmark.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's another perspective. That's another perspective. I think that concerns the duty that he has and is basically fixed on this location. I was looking at it in terms of maybe it's something maybe to add there, if it's basically worth adding. It was to say, at this point, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz are staying there. They are with the royal family as we speak, so you would imagine that they are enjoying in a way. There is everything there to actually call a place like this a prison. It would be actually a different experience. I think also, as you say, Keegan, then they chose to be here, but beside also choosing to be here, there are also benefits that they are enjoying as they are here, keeping Hamlet's company, trying to drawing him to some pleasure just to get information. So in a way, it would be very shocking to hear that this place is a prison. Also, if you look at that question itself, remember, there are sole responsibilities to find information. That question that Guildenstern asked, that prison, my lord, could maybe could be asked from a perspective of getting information rather than being concerned about what the other man is saying and trying to understand. So, see, there are two ways basically in which you can actually read this question. Okay, Guildenstern, thank you. Guildenstern?
Prison, my lord.
Hamlet?
Denmark's a prison.
Okay, Rosencrantz?
And this, the world wide.
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
Okay, again, that is Hamlet's perception of the place, right? That's how he sees it. He talks about confines. These are places of confinement where I think Keegan has also talked about how Hamlet is confined. He can't just go anywhere. He has to be here because of his responsibilities as a prince. But then he says there are dungeons, Denmark being one of the West. So again, that's how he sees the place and that's how he feels the place. It is indeed a prison. I think this idea again is reinforced in this line. Okay, Rosencrantz.
We think not so, my lord.
Okay, again, you remember when I said how is this a different experience for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? So it is a different experience. Whereas for Hamlet, it's also another experience. Okay, Rosencrantz?
We think not so, my lord.
Okay, next person.
Why then 'tis none to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison.
So he still stand on that notion.
Why then? Your ambition makes it one. That's too narrow for your mind.
Okay, proceed.
Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Okay. What is Hamlet revealing here?
So that he is not free and that he is banded in a nutshell and not having some space.
Okay, if you look at line, I'm not sure if are we there yet? No, so we're still not there. Okay, continue.
Which dreams indeed are ambitions? Which dreams indeed are ambition? For the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that is but a shadow's shadow.
Okay, Hamlet.
Then are our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows. Shall we to the court, for by my fay I cannot reason.
Okay, so now they are going, Rosencrantz.
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I will not taunt you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what makes you at Elsinore?
Okay, again, can you underline that question? This is a recurring question because it comes back again. He asks again, what makes you at Elsinore? Do you think maybe he's suspecting something? Yes or no? Okay, he could be. So he's been asking this question. So Rosencrantz, what brings you here? So Rosencrantz,
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you, and sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
okay, question. Based on this conversation, especially from the question here, what brings you at Elsinore? Would you say, yeah, Hamlet is sane or insane? Okay, how does Hamlet present himself here as he asks these questions? These are very serious questions, right? What brings you here? And then they lie and they say, to visit you, my lord, no other occasion. And you see that Hamlet doesn't just take anything, but he says, were you not sent for? Again, suggesting that he does see that they could be lying. Now he's more direct now. Were you not sent for? And then again he repeats the question, is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? And then he says, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak. So tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. At least tell me the truth. Did you just come here to see me, or you were sent? Okay, Guildenstern. Is he still here? Okay, I'm not sure if the person has left. Okay, can anyone just take the character? Pilasande, can you take Guildenstern?
answer.
Okay.
What should we say, my lord?
Why anything but to the purpose? You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks, which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
Okay. Now, remember what I proposed earlier. I said this is how he projects himself as somebody who's all-knowing and who knows what everyone is up to. He asked them, were you sent for? They said, but what can you say? He says, no, just tell me the truth. And then again, he now tells them. Okay, good job, boy. Now he tells them exactly. He says, you were sent for. And then he says, and your faces, the way you look says it all. And that you can't hide. And then again, he says he knows the good king. Again, what do you make of good king here? Good king is referring to Claudius. What do you make of good king? Okay, Pearl, no problem. What do you make of the fact that he says Claudius is good king? Okay, Keegan, thank you.
I think it clearly implies that he's being sarcastic about him being a good king.
Yeah. Because really he has a lot of information on Claudius and he knows about these crimes. So he calls them, good king and queen have sent for you. So he tells them. But then this is what Rosencrantz is asking. Okay, Rosencrantz.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me, but let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear a better proposer could charge you withal, be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
Okay, remember that these were childhood friends, right? What he does first is to make a proposition that you were sent for, I know that you were sent for, and your looks betray you. But still now he says, but to what end? Why? To what end? Why would they ask us to come here? To achieve what exactly? And then again, that you must teach me. Okay. And then again now, he reminds them of, remember that they used to be friends, right? So he appeals to that again, and then he says, tell me that you were sent for. But my question to you, how does Hamlet know? How does he know? And what do you make of the fact that he knows and we know he's right? Okay, anyone? Let me see. People are going away. I've got 5 minutes and I stop. Let me try. Okay, Puejaviso, it's been a while. What do you make of the fact that Hamlet seems to know? And how does he know? Or just tell me, what do you think of the fact that he knows?
Sir, can you please repeat?
I want you to comment on the fact that Hamlet seems to know everything. He seems to know about these characters. Just say anything or something along those lines. What do you think of the fact that he says you are sent for and he's right? We know that he's right. They are sent for. They are not there on their own volition, but they've been sent for. Okay, I think Banel wants to save you, but I want to give you a chance before I go to her.
Banele can answer. I don't know.
I suppose this was one of the questions. Okay, Banel, it's fine. Hopefully you learn. Let's give you a chance.
So the reason why Hamlet seems to know is because in the context he says, where you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come deal justify to me. So I think Hamlet here is trying to get more information because Rosencrantz and Guildenstern cannot just come now in a situation whereby he has already found out the truth, but now all of a sudden they're coming to say they came to just visit him.
Okay. I'm trying to think about what you say. Why couldn't they just come? Why couldn't they just come? I mean, they're friends.
But so now they
What?
didn't even announce that they're coming to visit, so they just came.
Okay.
And like so I'm trying you.
Okay, you know what? Let's do it like this, ne? All I needed was a comment on the fact that Hamlet says he knows that they were sent for, and we know he's right. The fact that he knows that they are sent for, yet we didn't hear anybody telling him. Yes, he does maybe or partly he does suggest it in form of questioning, but sometimes he's very direct. He tells them, but then he still again he wants them because he says deal justly with me. So again, meaning that he's already suspicious. So I don't know how. Maybe my question is not clear, but I don't know. Or maybe the question is Keegan, what would be? Oh, thank you. Your hand is up.
Sir, I do think that Hamlet is seen as a very observant person. He can tell when someone is not being completely honest with him, or that they have ulterior motives. I think it's also a good thing to point out that it seems that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are being they're being very polite and formal with them, despite them being childhood friends, which I think he would find very suspicious.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. Now you remind me of how now I'm remembering the interaction between Horatio and Hamlet, which is totally different again. How Horatio presents himself to him. Now that you bring that point that they are way too formal, especially if they were friends before. So it is too obvious to actually tell that now something is up here. Okay, but I think to note what you said Hamlet is very observant, so he can read people, just like he can read Polonius, and also just like he could read Claudius, because before his encounter with the ghost, he already feels a certain way about Claudius, and that is basically what we saw. Okay, thank you very much for your comments and for your contributions. I think we'll stop here today. It's exactly 7:20. We are on page 65, so all right, thank you then. All the best. We'll meet again next week. Goodbye.